get off your ass and do something difficult. What color is your Bugatti, Mr. Andrew Tate?
Good to see you, sir.
Hey, awesome. Thank you for having me. This place is amazing. I'm so glad. And I'm going to try to convince you before we start if we can use the headphones.
Why do we need headphones? I can hear you perfectly fine.
I like the idea. People think that you use headphones for hearing each other.
Yeah.
I like the headphones because for the sensory deprivation that it creates.
Exactly. That's exactly what my enemies want. I've actually had a beef with headphones. People don't realize that. It's kind of funny on the internet. They say, old Tate had a beef with everything. And they're right. I guess I did. But I always had a beef with headphones. And I know we're in a pretty secure setting. But I've made many videos saying that headphones are probably the most stupid thing a man can wear. I see people wearing headphones in public.
Yes.
And they're just asking to die.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing. You can't hear a car. You can't hear me. I'm 6'3", 100 kilo. I can sneak up on you without trying and break your neck. So I don't know. I'm kind of anti-headphone. Maybe it's just because it's a principled thing. I know that I'm pretty safe here, but I'd have to recheck in with the security team. And I'm on bail, so I can't carry the strap. And I just feel safer if I can hear the knock at the door, you know?
So that's why we intentionally created the most secure location we could possibly find. Yeah. I like the headphones because really it helps you focus into the conversation. It blocks out the entire world. So I know that you're trying to be aware of the world around you, but the point is to block out the world so that we focus in on the conversation. Nothing else matters. And I think when I record with headphones, you kind of almost forget that the world around you exists. And it creates kind of this weird space.
I believe you, but I don't know. Unmatched perspicacity. I'll think about it. Maybe 10 or 20 minutes in, I might put them on for a little while and test it out. But I think I'll be nervous. And it's kind of crazy because I say these things and people think I'm nuts, but my life's pretty extreme now.
Yeah.
I mean, at the back of my mind, there's always who's going to knock on the door. Is it going to be the police or is it going to be the other guys? That's always on my mind all of the time. So it's kind of difficult to fully relax. So the headphones, I'm not sure about. I'll think about it. I'll do my very best for you because you're a very nice man and you've flown all the way here.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit of time to build up the courage and I'll see if I can put the headphones on.
If you guys are watching, maybe leave a comment. Should Andrew wear the headphones or not? I think that'd be an interesting way to start out the conversation.
Bro, but I see people in public with headphones on and you are so killable for the sake of listening to a song you've heard 300 times. I don't understand how people go through life without ever considering that there might be somebody who wants to remove them from Earth. It's insane. I had a conversation the other day with a girl. She was talking about swimming with sharks or something. And she said how fun it would be. And I said, why would swimming with sharks be fun? And she said, oh, but the adrenaline and, it's exciting. I get adrenaline walking to my car. I have enemies who want to get me. By the time I leave the establishment and my head's on a swivel and I try and see if anyone's going to kill me or not, or any of the police are going to arrest me because there's a police car over there. And I finally get into the car, the door's closed, then I can relax. I have enough adrenaline in my life. I do not need sharks. No. And I kind of want to hear them coming because I think that's my only chance to survive.
Do you feel like maybe then you're living kind of paranoid?
You're paranoid every day until you're right.
Huh.
I was called paranoid every day until I was arrested.
It's true.
I kept saying, you have 3 lives. First, they cancel you. Second, they throw you in jail on some garbage. Third, they kill you. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to jail. Jail for what? Well, here we go. Yeah, I went to jail. And then people are stupid enough to say, well, just get a lawyer. As if the law is real. As if a lawyer can help. None of it's real. It's all made up. Every single system we live under is corrupted to the core. And if you speak too loud and you get too big, they're going to punish you.
Isn't it crazy how well that I got 3 lives aged?
Bro, I've never been wrong about anything.
It aged well. It aged really well.
My whole brand is built on fantastic predictions. Like anyone who's been following me for the last 5 or 6 years, some people are new to it, but I was calling pancake swap at 10 cents. And I was calling, there's so many examples. There was actually somebody who did a fantastic edit. I'll have to find it and put it on X, where it was about 25 of my perfect predictions. And I knew I was going to go to jail because I was sitting with Tristan in Dubai and we're sitting in this mansion that costs $250,000 a month to rent. And we've just bought our own mansion, which we're renovating. And we're sitting there and there's all these girls in the pool and there's a Bugatti on the drive and everything's perfect. And Tristan goes, we made it out. Like, life's good. He just said, look around you. This is great. We're smoking shisha. And I said, no, we're fucked. Because the universe doesn't work that way. You don't get a Bugatti on your drive, 20 women in your pool, a huge mansion, children who love you, money coming. Something's going to go wrong. And Tristan said, well, what can go wrong? And I said, well, either we're going to die or we're going to go to jail. And I was right. I'm not,
you don't want to be right.
I don't want to be right, but I guess it's better to be paranoid and prepared and incorrect. I think I'd rather the few times in my life when they finally write my biography, they say Andrew was only wrong a few times in his life when he had over-prepared and life went better than he expected. That's fine. I'll take those losses. I will not take a loss the other way, sir, where I'm underprepared.
Before I go too far, I got to read my legal disclaimer.
Yeah, that might keep us out of jail.
This got to keep us out of jail. I have my own. I know you have your own. I got to do mine.
Cool.
Let me just. I, Matt Kim, am here on my free will. I have not been coerced and can leave at any time. Absolutely no exchange of money or profit has been discussed nor agreed to. The Matrix was a movie, actually trilogy. Joe Biden received 81 million legitimate votes. An entire year with 0 flu deaths is normal. And the mainstream news is honest and fair.
I like that. That's very good because people often ask me, I don't know if you've seen this. There was a picture when I was first arrested of my case files, and there was all these pages and pages of evidence. And everyone's saying, look, he's guilty. Look at all these case files. My case files are just translated podcasts.
Yeah.
So every word I say is used against me in a court of law. So I want to say to the camera, I don't have an official disclaimer as professional as you, but I'll say to the camera that I'm a liar. Everything I say isn't true. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm completely lying. I'm a liar. I'm a comedian. Don't listen. Don't listen to anything I say. Just as you quite rightly pointed out, 81 million legit votes.
Legit votes. Today is a discussion of ideas. Sometimes men speak in absolutes or hyperbole or use sarcasm to move along a conversation or get a point across. Every single idea does not require a discussion of the random exceptions.
Bro, that's the perfect one because the random exceptions is how most of these people are living their lives.
It's crazy, isn't it?
The random exceptions is how they manage to justify their insanity and inanity. It's endless.
You'll talk for 2 hours, and I do this all the time. We talk for 2 hours or do a podcast or put up clips, and they'll find like 5 or 10 seconds and be like, look at what you said.
Which is crazy because if you're going to go through life thinking that exceptions disprove the rule, well, then you're a dummy. And I don't know how these people have managed to survive for so long. It kind of shows how soft societies become where these people survive. Because in days of old, the idea was that the lion will eat you if you go near the lion. Now, you may go near a lion and he's tired and he's just eaten and he's nice to you. There's exceptions that disprove the rule. But in general, if you want to survive, you have to take the rules and adapt them. Which is why I say, it's something I said which is really controversial and it sent the world on crazy, but I'll say it again, I don't care. I say I don't let women drive me in cars. I don't. That's my personal choice. It's my personal preference. A man will drive me, I will drive, or I will walk. And they'll say, oh, but some women can drive. I'm sure. Yep. But in my experience, if I want to live, no, women don't drive me in cars.
I mean, I don't think that's that crazy to say because if I'm with my wife and it's raining, she'll be like, you need to drive.
100%.
What's wrong with that?
100%. It's exactly the same with me. Any woman I'm with, she's like, oh, please, you drive. I was like, okay, I will. Keeps us all alive. You can play you can be DJ, you can play the songs, everything's fine. But you can't say this online because there's going to be some idiot who's going to sit there and try and pull up statistics or some garbage or find a girl who was a race car driver in 1981 and say, look, as if that disproves the rule. And you have to live your life by rules because if you don't do that, you're going to get eaten by a tiger one day.
Well, they'll throw up the statistic that men crash more than women. I'm like, well, because in dangerous situations, men drive more. Of course. They're actually taking the risk.
100%.
So,
we can actually, because all my gendered arguments get me in trouble.
Another disclaimer.
As a professional, I was lying. I'm a comedian. As a professional, I'm going to extrapolate it out towards something else. But I think that I don't trust anybody who doesn't have emotional stability in general. I think we could argue, in general, men are more emotionally stable than women. So if you're going to put somebody in a stressful situation, whether it's aquaplaning a car, turbulence on a plane, physical violence, whatever it is, you're going to want somebody who has emotional stability and emotional control. You're not going to want somebody who panics easily. And I mean, maybe I know particularly feminine women, but the women I know will panic if I say, think fast and throw a starburst at them, let alone an actual event, which can be life or death. So yeah, emotional stability is extremely important in dangerous situations.
Before we get going, I forgot. I wanted to give this to you before. So typically, if you guys don't know, and if you guys travel internationally, typically when you go meet someone, it's custom, I think pretty much all over the world, to bring a gift.
Yeah.
So I got you something because I know you like cigars.
Yeah.
And I know you have your emergency meetings that you do. And I know you're an Elon fan.
Yeah.
I don't think you have one of these.
I don't think. Let's see. What is it? A Starship. I don't have a Starship. No, that's true.
It's made by SpaceX.
Wow. It's like Christmas. What is it? It's a lighter. No way.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, that's epic. That's epic. How do I even do it?
I think you turn the top off. Oh, no, the
twist the top?
Yeah, twist the top off. And I can't fly with fuel in it, but yeah.
And does it like a big flame?
I don't know. I haven't put fuel in it yet.
I'm going to fuel it up, bro. I've got my own spaceship. The haters are going to be really mad now. That's epic. That's genuinely an amazing present. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought that'd be a fun one. I thought that's something that you guys could use on your set and something that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, people often say you have all these cars, you have these boats and jets, but you have never been to space. You don't have a spaceship, but
now you got a spaceship.
Thank you. So before we start, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where did you come from, bro? You just blew up out of nowhere.
I know. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. It's like one day it was bang. He talks sense. I was like, who is he? I don't know. He's just saying things that make sense.
Last year, my daughter is a year and a half old. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell my story from the beginning. 2021 is when I first found you.
Yeah.
It was the Your Mama's House podcast. Yeah. And if you guys have never seen it, I think that's the best one you've ever done.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Because it was a combination of your ideas with humor and your takes on some women. You can tell that a lot of it was for fun.
Yeah.
You understood it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as polarizing then. This is before you kind of took over the whole internet.
Please tell the Romanian judge that. It would help. Because it's translated in the case file.
Yeah, if you take it word for word and you translate it and you take out the nuance, you're like, all right, this guy hates women. Yeah. You could see it.
Yeah.
But if you hear it, and even Christine, she was laughing her ass off. Yeah. And the funniest part was, well, corporate Tate, if I'm a dumb bitch, she says this. Amazing. And that was a great episode, I thought. Yeah. That's the first time I ever saw you on the internet. Yeah. And that was maybe August or October of 21, something like that. And I was like, this guy's super interesting. And then you started getting to your takes of get up your ass and do something. Depression isn't real. Yep. You know, like be something. The only people that are scared of ghosts are the people that believe in ghosts. 100%. I love that one. Yeah. And I remember it was 2021 and I was home during COVID and my wife was like, we should stay home. And there's a whole story of why we had to stay home. Yeah. But for her health reasons, we couldn't risk it. Yep. But I remember sitting home and I was feeling lax and I don't want to say I was depressed, but I was feeling unmotivated. Mm-hmm. And I ran into you at just the most perfect time in my life. And I was like, I'm going to do something. So I started working on different businesses and I was at home. I think it was a little bit over a year ago. I was at home and I'm yelling at the TV like most old men do now. Yeah. You yell at TV and you're like, that's bullshit. I don't believe that, whatever. And my wife, she's like, she came downstairs. She's like, seriously, go tell someone that cares because you're going to wake up your kid. Yeah. And I was like, do you know what? I will. And I came in the office. I'm like, I'm going to start a podcast. And like, what are you talking about? Dude, I feel like I'm going to do it. I've been watching Andrew Tate. I feel like I'm going to do this.
Dude, nice.
And I just turned it on one day and I went to my computer, how to start a podcast. Like that's how I'd never been on a podcast before.
Yep.
I'd never been in a studio before. I had no idea how to do any of this. And I'm just like, I'm just going to figure it out.
Yep.
Start day one, figure it out. And as you kind of experiment and you learn and you fail and you do things, you'll just improve. And I thought, if I start and maybe in 5 years, 10,000 people listen to me, that'd be a huge success. That's a lot of damn people.
Yeah, it is.
And somehow, I think in the last 8 months, it went from like no one's ever heard of me to, I don't know, maybe 500,000 to 1 million people per day see my face.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
And it's because I ran into you at just the most opportune time.
Well, that humbles me a little bit. Thank you, sir. But there was also a video you made, a particular video or something that was like that blew up. Was there one? Was there one video or was it gradual? I remember seeing just one video one day and then I saw you every day.
I made my first video. Okay, so Tucker Carlson got kicked off of Fox in May. Yeah. And I love Tucker. Yeah. I love everything that he does. And I love his approach of kind of informing people. It's like facts with a little bit of mixture of his opinion. Yeah. And he presents facts in a way to get his style of story. I love that he's able to...
Smart.
it's smart, right? Because people are like, oh, he's fair, but no, like he's telling his story. I love that.
Yeah.
And I remember he got kicked off, and then I think it was June 18th, Father's Day, I ran into this story of these. It was in Seattle, a guy went up to a family in a Tesla and shot him cold dead. And the wife.
And you want me to wear headphones? Bro, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee that guy in that Tesla was listening to music, sitting there. Bro, sorry to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt your story, but that's perfect example. Yes, a couple days ago, I was in my car and we were sitting in traffic. I had a security team behind me and I'm sitting in the car. I've got a security car in front of me and I'm looking in all the mirrors and the chick goes to me, what are you looking for? I'm like, them. What do you mean? What am I looking? Them? Like, this dude was sitting in his Tesla listening to Katy Perry, sitting there, bang.
Bang.
That's how it goes, bro.
Just like that. But the wife that was in the car with him, she was pregnant, 7 months pregnant.
So sad, bro.
And it was Father's Day, so I just started thinking about it, like, damn. And I made this video first time I ever did one of these talking head videos. And I said, on Father's Day, this one just hits hard, right? Because you have daughters, like it's a tough one. And I ended the story with how many people died that day because she was 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And that really messed people up because all the people that are like, abortion isn't real or they're not babies, but she was 7 months pregnant. They're like, my comment section went crazy because they couldn't, people who think that it's okay to abort kids, they're like, damn, but this is a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
And my first time ever putting a video together like that, it did like 3 or 4 million views in like 2 days.
Wow.
And ever since then, that video, and then I did one about the submarine with billionaires in a submarine.
Oh, bro, yeah.
I was like, I don't care about these billionaires submarine, and then this idiots going in the middle with PlayStation controllers, and that one blew up.
I mean, there's interesting points because we just talked about how exceptions don't disprove the rule, and that's also abortion's a subject where that happens all the time.
Yeah,
where you say, I think abortion is wrong. What if she's raped?
Yeah.
Well, who gets pregnant from rape in general?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, perhaps. What if she's raped and the guy who raped her has AIDS? And it's like, bro, where is this argument going?
Yeah.
This is just going down a rabbit hole of insanity. And as for the Ocean Gate thing, the thing that always perplexed me about that, and I speak as somebody with a whole bunch of money, and I know I'm risk averse, as we've just discussed. The podcast has already begun. If you try and make me do extreme things, I'm like, no, walking to my car is extreme. No, thank you. But the fact that people went down on a submarine to the Titanic to look at the Titanic through a TV screen, as opposed to sending the submarine on its own and watching it on the TV screen from the yacht, is amazing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe they could sit and say, oh, but I'm closer to the... Bro, you're watching it through a screen. What's the difference?
Yeah.
And now you're crushed to death.
In a little soda can.
Bro.
That was so stupid.
I mean, yeah, it was hard to feel sorry for them. The memes were epic. I mean, obviously it was a terrifying thing, but the memes were off the chain. I kind of felt bad when I'd laugh at some of them. I'd be like, oh man, that must be scary. But I don't know. Didn't it cross their mind that this is just pointless? If they would have said to me, hey, you can go down in this little soda can. You can see the submarine. I was like, through what window? Oh, there's no windows. Through this screen. I would have said, okay, thank you. Then send the submarine. It takes like 6 hours to get down there or something. Yeah. You send the submarine. I'm going to spend the next 6 hours in the gym. And you let me know when we're at the bottom. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, it's not something I would have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Crazy. So I want us to ask you a question. I've been reading this book called Start With Why, Simon Sinek. I don't know if you know the book. Basically, it's the idea that if you can convince people of your why, then your how and your what are much easier sells. Why do you do what you do now?
That's a very good question. I'm not a philanthropist. I don't do it from a philanthropic point of view. I do it because I think that if you have a large platform and you're a man and you're afraid to tell the truth, then you're a coward. So I do it for myself. I help all the people who come to me and say, you've helped all these people, or you've helped me, or you've done these amazing things for society. That's great. But I don't see it philanthropic. I think it would be unfair and disingenuous for me to sit here and say, I'm trying to save the world. I know I have a platform and I know what the truth is, and I'm not a coward, and I'm glad that I am helping people. And I think that's very important. And I think that God's light is truth. And the more you spread the truth, the harder it is for demons to control us all. And I also believe that raw action solves everything. I think that, just as you said, I just got up and started working and just started the pod. Raw action solves everything. So I believe if you have an objective, you should attack it absolutely. But I do it because I think it. I think these things and people listen to me, so I will say them. And I know I'm punished for that. But I don't see the alternative. I think I would be a coward to sit and say, well, I think these things, but I shouldn't say it because it's going to upset X, Y, Z, the Matrix, as we've seen it does. But could I live with myself as a coward? I don't think so. So if people are going to listen to me and I'm going to talk, then I'm going to tell them exactly what I believe and think and exactly what is true. And that's why I do it. And I'm glad I'm helping people. What's interesting is, I guess maybe I am a good person after. Because if I was saying things that I believed hurt people, I don't think I'd do it. Now, if you want to get deeper down the rabbit hole, would I believe the things I believe and think the things I think if they were detrimental and they hurt people? Probably not. But if I was saying things that I thought genuinely was damaging society, I'd be a lot more likely to be quiet. It's actually quite an interesting thought experiment for me to understand how I'd have a worldview which I believe propagating would damage society. I can't work that one out exactly. However, I know I'm helping people. I know I'm helping society. I know I'm helping individuals. I'm damaging the matrix, but I'm helping individuals because there's no light without dark. So if you help individualism, you're damaging collectivism. There's no other way about it. If you say to people, I'm going to tell you how I think and it's going to make your particular life better and it benefits that one individual, that's bad for the ant farm. You don't want one ant to stand up and say, this is garbage. You don't want one ant to say, I'm tired of carrying dirt. This is stupid. No. So I understand what I'm doing is good for the individual and it's bad for the matrix as a whole. But I'm just telling my story and things I've learned and things I've worked out. And it's very interesting you said about this book. I haven't read a book since jail. I don't read books ever. Everything I say is just me learning the hard way. And I guess I'd like some people at home to learn from my lessons and perhaps they can get some of the benefit without such a hard time, but we'll see how it goes.
I think I have the book here. I'm going to give it to you.
Oh, I can't wait. When I go back to jail, I promise to read it.
Yeah. And maybe you'll have a lot of time to read it. I don't know. Hopefully not. I don't want to say that actually.
We'll see.
Yeah. This is something that you've talked about before, but we're in this war between good and evil.
Yep.
I truly believe that.
Yep.
And what that evil is, I think some people say it's deep state, or it's propaganda, or it's establishment, or it's, centuries old families. There's no way to know who it is, right?
Yep.
And that's the hardest part. How do you fight against the enemy when you don't know exactly who the enemy is?
Yep.
But I feel like in this war of good versus evil, you're a general in the movement.
Doing my best.
And I think when you can understand and realize that there is a movement of people behind you, I think that maybe changes your perspective, your purpose.
Well, it does make me braver. It makes me braver because it makes me feel like my suffering's worthwhile because I am suffering. I want everyone at home to understand that I don't need to do, you're right. I don't need to do any of this. I don't need money. I don't need the views. It's detrimenting my life. I've lost millions and millions of dollars and I've gone to jail and all my banks have been frozen and they're trying to put me back and all of this is happening. But I think when you ask who our enemies are, I don't think it's as simple as naming a family or the deep state, etc. I think the enemy is deception. Demons operate from the dark, and we're living in a world which is built on lies. Every single thing is a lie. Everything they tell you is a lie. Every system you're supposed to believe in is corrupted to the core. And I think if you're going to make or build a correct society, a fair and just society, you should at least do it under the guise of truth. If you're looking at a chessboard and you have to decide the move you want to make, well, you want to understand the chessboard first. You have to analyze the chessboard and see where the pieces are. We can't do that now because the entire chessboard's cloaked in darkness. You don't know how the legal system works. You don't know how the political system works. You don't know how the financial system works. So when they come along and say, we need to do this for the good of society, how can you even make that decision when you haven't even seen how society functions? So I think if you just tell the truth about everything all the time, from there, perhaps it would be chaotic for a while as the matrix breaks. It's very likely. But at least if you tell the truth all the time, you have a fair starting block. You have a clear chessboard from where you can decide what moves should be made for how society should function. And we're all humans, and humans are fallible. None of us are perfect. We're making mistakes, and we've built these systems to keep some semblance of peace and serenity amongst society. And we've done an okay job for a while. But I think now we're entering a stage where the highly politicized judicial systems, along with the highly politicized medical system, along with the highly politicized financial system, along with the highly politicized, we're getting to a point now where everything's about to crumble. And I think it's very important that everyone understands the truth of how the world operates before that happens. And my hope is that we can build a new system or there's a new age and a new world where things are genuinely fair and just. I don't want to go on, but just for everyone at home, if you think the law is fair and just, you're going to learn the hard way that it's not. You're going to learn the very hard way. You can go into any jail in any country in the world, and you'll find people who got screwed by their lawyer or screwed by the system. Black, white, rich, poor, everybody. And of course, everyone thinks of the police and the judicial system as somebody kills someone, police catches them, goes to jail. And they do that well, and they're supposed to. But there's also the innocent guy who forgot a number on a piece of paper once in 2001, and his life's over. So, and especially if that person's a conservative, then he's really in trouble. Yeah. So it's difficult. And I'm kind of scared because I say all these things about how the matrix is cracking. We need to build a new system. But it's happening in direct correlation at exact the same time as AI is taking over. And I'm kind of scared that AI is going to enslave us all now. I'm kind of sitting there going, well, if all the current systems break and they rebuild them, they're going to rebuild them with the new technology. Of course, they always would. Is this new technology going to be used for our benefit or to perma-enslave us? It's kind of scary.
I got so many places to go with this. We can go into government. We can go into...
Let's go into Minority Report. Minority Report. We're all going to jail before you even do anything. The AI bot is going to scan your entire personality profile, everything you've ever said, the way you drive your car, the things you say in private, and they're going to come together with this report, and they're going to say, look, this person drives their car too fast, they're reckless, they got too many girlfriends, they're out here spreading testosterone all over the place, I don't like the things he's saying, he's physically large, he could be considered a danger, arrest him anyway. Minority Report's coming for all of us. We're all going to jail, especially if you're a man. If you're a man, you're only this far from jail anyway.
At all times.
At all times, bro. Yeah. If you've got a dick, you're going to jail. You could be in any state in America. It doesn't matter how conservative the state or how red the state or how right-wing the state. You could be in any state in America. If a girl walks into a police station and says 6 years ago, this man abused me or raped me, and with no evidence, she can't even remember when, you're getting arrested. And if you have a job, you're going to lose it. And if you're famous, it's in the papers and your life is over. You're this close to jail anyway, sir. You're this close. Your entire life, you're skating this close to jail anyway. You think when they get AI, we're not all perma fucked? I think we are, because prevention's better than cure. And they're now learning as they're trying to cure this cultural revolution.